Hey, what did you think? I wasn't gonna stream? I'm only 12 minutes late. It's no big deal. My excuse is I was eating. I'm a slow eater. So, there you go. Welcome back. Good evening. Bitcoin has not moved since we last checked it. No, it probably did. Um, we were around the same level that we were 2 days ago. I didn't stream yesterday, so either way, yesterday there was a bit of a dip going on. Bitcoin dropped to a low of 112,600. Great entry point, by the way, because once again, we are respecting this uptrend line. Although we are technically still overshadowed by this downtrend, I will ignore this uptrend. It's no longer valid. So we haven't really been able to break out of this resistance at 115,000. We are still struggling right here. So we're still 114,000, almost 900 here. 0% movements today. A lot of the market is in the green. Litecoin had a great day before, a couple days ago, 2 days ago. So if you're able to take profits on that 120 plus, it was a good idea too. Arguably, though, it could be better because we have seen Litecoin at higher levels. We've seen it at 140. I'll talk about Litecoin whenever we get there, but it is one of the only coins that is technically in the red, hardly by any percentage, 0.22%. But we'll leave the digital silver till later. So for this digital gold, really my analysis stays the same. I do have an open position over here that I have bought. Still making $10 on it. I'm not too excited with it. If I was to close this, I would be at a loss, I think. Realistically, yeah, I'd only make $7. It's not worth it, is it? My hyperliquid position is in the red a little bit. Not even by much. Solana is still up. Chainlink is still up greatly. These are my favorite best two positions entries. Hype is also a good entry that I put in, but it's just doing its own thing, unfortunately. But we'll analyze that when we get there. I still think it's a good idea to enter it. Anyways, what do we got? Supports 112,000, of course. We should not break below this if the uptrend is to be maintained for the long term, right? We're using the low point of June 22nd and the low point of April 9, April 8, April 9, Liberation Day. So, yeah, great. I'm back with the yawning. My liquidation price for this is all the way down there. 3x on Bitcoin, honestly, it's a little bit too safe, which could be a good thing. You know, if you want to invest in Bitcoin like on spot market, don't even do that. Just do 3x leverage. You'll guaranteed be safe. Not actually, but it's pretty safe, right? You're not going to get Bitcoin dropping to 76,000. Famous last words. But I mean, if you do want to take most advantage of it, you would obviously leverage more or just trade more actively, I would suppose, in that sense. But it's up to you, whatever you want to do. Not up to me. So I really want to close this position because it's just like, what do I even do? This is such a nothing entry. Like, it's not even that much money. I'm planning to make more, of course, on altcoins. This is why alt season is important for it to happen, because it's going to get to a point where Bitcoin's like, everybody thinks that Bitcoin is boring. They'd be like, oh, it moves so slow, it doesn't do anything, what's the point? When in reality, it's supposed to be a long-term play, that Bitcoin is your retirement funds, right? Yeah, I'm investing through it by ETFs, although not as much as I would like, but we're still in it nonetheless. So, what else we got? Moving on to Ethereum. It is up 2.44%, 3,672. Also on the way back up. Pivot level used as a support quite effectively, 3,590. Current price, 3,672, approaching this downtrend line. Super trend should correct a little bit lower in the upcoming hours. Something like this should happen, right? You can allow like this to happen. It should be fine as well if Ethereum is able to just continue breaking upward. But usually when there's like periods of low volatility, or we just kind of know that this downtrend is fading out, man, the yawning is getting crazy. I gotta like, is there any medicine for like anti-yawning? Because it just happens way too frequently, especially as soon as I hit stream, not record. Whatever. So yeah, that's what we got for Ethereum. It's looking like our resistance is 3,800, you could really say. And then the important downtrend line at 4K, right? This downtrend line is the one from 2021. Second point is December 2024, the highest point that we reached there. And we are approaching that level right now. As soon as you break out of it, it's uncharted territory. Or will it just be yet another resistance at 4,000, as we have seen multiple times in February 2024, May 2024, November 2024, and where we are right now. Could this be just another one of those resistances? Let's hope not. I mean, we've broken higher before, but fair enough. There's probably less supply over there. Less coins in circulation, right, is the idea. Man, the yawning. I'm just going to complain about it every time. Okay, so that's what you got for Ethereum. In terms of supports, 3,500, and this should not get hit. 3,200, forget about it. We do have a very valid uptrend. I mean, we could see it still, because we essentially do have this one, but seeing Ethereum at below 3,000, it seems like it's impossible now. We're getting a lot of retail investors in. All those short positions that were really pressuring Ethereum to the downside. It seems like Ethereum was this scapegoat of short positions until finally, like, it all cascaded and we were finally able to break back out of it. You know, breaking above 3,000 was super important, and then we just easily climbed almost to 4,000 from there. But that should not happen again, of course, unless it's super well coordinated. I don't think it will. So, yeah, these levels down here, very unlikely. All right, moving on. Solana, up 3.43% today, making a whopping $50 on it. I know, right? 3.43%, 168 with 30 is the current price, reaching exactly this resistance, but we do technically have another one at 170. That is a more important one. And arguably even more important than that is the 175 resistance, where we also get the downtrend and validation. Breaking out of that should take us easily to 181. We've got a lot of resistances here. I'm deleting this line. R1, it's at 187. So yeah, we got to break out a pivot first. In terms of supports, 155 and then 146. Don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, I should be prepared for it. I do already have a trigger order over here, just in case. I think I'm going to have to take it higher, honestly. Like, right about there. Sweet. I like how you could just edit that. Let's see if that happens. 146 Solana would be great. Like, for buying, of course, not to see it there. Just wanted to, like, make a quick dip and then go back up again. That kind of deal. XRP looks like it's now struggling to stay above $3. We had a nice climb up a couple days ago, I recall that. But we were not able to hit that resistance to the point where Supertrend is now on its way down over here. Cool, that's exactly what I wanted. Yes, we have a downtrend kind of looking like this, or I would even go as far as to extend it like that, based off of recent highs. This uptrend, what is it from? It looks like it was from here. Didn't really work out. I'll put this over here instead. Should hopefully take us in the same direction. In terms of supports, you're looking at 278, $3 is where we are hovering around at the current moment. Resistance 324. Litecoin mentioned it reached, it actually reached 129. This happened yesterday? Yeah, August 5th. Do you guys remember last year, August 5th? Man, what a day. Day to not be forgotten. Okay. So, okay, 129. Hey, that's actually not too bad for Litecoin. And I think we could say the downtrend is officially broken. If you're wondering what this downtrend is from, mentioned it a couple times, but same deal with what we were checking with Ethereum. 2021 all-time high to one of our current recent levels, right? We're now breaking out of that downtrend. It's official. Some would argue, oh, you got to close above the weekly candle. And it's whatever. It's going to take a while anyway. Bouncing off of this resistance, 116 used to be resistance, now support, right? Lowest point that we reached, 115. I do like that 126 though. That's pretty cool. I sold at 119 approximately, probably where it is right now. Sure, I could have made some more profits, but you don't know that. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. This is a god candle of 5.56% in just 4 hours. It's pretty impressive. So it is still on the way back up. 122 is that 122, 123 looks to be like the resistance, right? Let's see if we can reach that. Sui still in a downtrend. Arguably still a good price to enter. It's looking like we're ready for a bounce over here. Swiss support sparks $5 price target for Sui. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely reasonable. Did we hit $5 last time? All-time high. 537. Yes, we did. Yeah, easily. Easily. No doubt about it, so we can hit that. And we are keeping this uptrend up, which is good. I'll just slightly readjust that. This downtrend seems to be weakening by the day, so who knows where it's going to have to bounce off of. But for now, it's looking like it's trying to break out of it. I should have had a trigger order here, honestly. But I was being a little too greedy with it, so I dropped it all the way down there. Sui is one of those coins that it'll just take off if it wants to, or really wants to. But keep in mind, like, technically, sure, yeah, we are still overall in a downtrend because of the super trend, what it's indicating. So we break out of it, 382 and above, then you could confirm we're in an uptrend. But if you want to risk it, there's always that risk, of course. Now would still be a good idea to enter if you want to get it at a good price before if you want to be early to the party. But there's risk that comes with it, of course. Sure. Cardano up 3.57% today, 74 cents finally. On our way up to the 80, 82 is the resistance, 79 is super trend invalidation. Downtrend still prevails quite perfectly over here, but we're kind of breaking out of it at the current moment. This uptrend is the one that matters the most. I had a trigger order down here, which will never get filled. I'm starting to feel that FOMO. I could sense it on Cardano and on Sui. Who knows? Maybe I'll cancel these and maybe I'll just straight up enter those positions because I'm seeing that they are pretty valid. And if they go against me, I won't be putting too much in if I do. So, if they go against me, I'll drop in a significant amount more. No big deal. What else we got? Chainlink. Not usually one of the coins I analyze, but just want to flex this entry over here. It's been doing really great. This is kind of what I was hoping to expect for a lot of the other coins. What did I see for Solana back then? Same deal. Look at that. Right? So, it all works out in the end. Good entries. Not much else to say for Chainlink there. Hyperliquid has been lateralizing at this low point. I'm practically at break even. There's really not a lot of movement going on, unfortunately, but it should happen soon. I do like the price action of it. The downtrend looks like it is, you know, the super trend is following the line that I have drawn over here. In terms of resistances, we got pivot and also, you know, what is this? I'm probably gonna have to redraw this if we're looking for resistances. Give me this high point and this low point. Yeah, it's practically the same. 38.90 to 39, I guess, almost 40. Got another one at 41, which looks valid, serves as a support a couple times over here. Will now become a resistance at 41. 42 seems to be where the super trend would hypothetically invalidate if we are able to approach it. And then that should take us to this level at 44. That's probably where I'll consider taking some profits if we ever do get to that point. If we drop lower, I'm thinking, should I just double down on my positions, some of them? I do like Hyperliquid, so I got some considerations in mind. I could open a position on Sui. I could open a position on Cardano. Hyperliquid is also looking good. Just to double down on it, because it's literally at the exact same price that I bought. Sure, maybe I could, you know, put a trigger order over here, but the thing with the market is if I put a trigger order here, it's gonna, like, do that and then just shoot up like it's like a big middle finger to my face, you know? So, not much I could really do there. And this Bitcoin position, I might as well just close it. Or, like, what's the harm in keeping it open, really? It's just adding to commission. I don't know. It's better than money doing nothing, right? But it's not a lot, is my issue. This Bitcoin position that I have, it's not a lot. It's not going to make any big difference on my portfolio. You really got to focus on the altcoins at this point. A lot of retail investors will. But I don't think a lot of them are in it yet. A lot of retail interest is still, you know, kind of looming in the background, but it's not really there. When it does, man, the FOMO that will kick in, it's gonna be huge. And you better be in the markets by then. Not really. You do whatever you want to do with your money. Bitcoin breaking 115K. Yay. All right, cool. That's all I got for technical analysis. We'll probably come back here, like I said, if we want to find entry. I'm going to write these down just in case I, like, forget. What did I say? Sui, Cardano, Sui, ADA, Hype, Double Down, DD for Double Down, and then sell Bitcoin. Sell BTC. Okay. We'll see how things play out by the end of the stream. If we also have time, because it's a bit of a slow news day. Really nothing happened. Trump walked on the roof of the White House. That's about it. Little media stunt, of course. Yeah, alright, cool. Moving on. Let's get to it. So we do know this whole deal with oil prices that I talked about. Yeah, let's analyze oil now that we're on that subject. I put a trigger order in. I guess I was too late with it. Oil already made its move, and I guess I missed out. Wait, did I miss out? This is just recent. Hold on. Hold on, I'll confirm with you guys. Let me check my phone. It's on my phone. I should have gotten a notification if that was the case. If oil did get purchased. Hold on. Okay. No, I do not have a crude oil position open. Do I have the order there? Yes, my trigger order is there at 62.49. We hit 63.14 as the low point, so I was waiting for this. Literally just what I was explaining to you guys, right? I was waiting for prices to drop over here. It's technically not oversold yet, so that doesn't really bother me too much. Great, great drawing. Thank you. I was waiting for oil to drop over here. Unfortunately, no, it did not hit. It's still in a downtrend though, so it doesn't bother me too much. And I also didn't put too much in here because I still think we're going to see a big drop on it. But this whole tariff thing on India from Trump in order to try to figure out a ceasefire deal with Russia-Ukraine, pressure Russia into getting into the ceasefire deal, because they clearly want to exclude the United States from any peace talks. So Trump is trying to pressure Putin economically. Who's the biggest buyer of Russian oil? That is India. So Trump is throwing India into the mix. He said that he would be raising tariffs on India soon over that Russian oil thing. I didn't cover this before, but yep, this got confirmed and it actually happened today. So that happened yesterday. So the announcement that he would be raising the tariffs, and today It's official that Trump will be imposing an additional 25% tariff on Indian goods, citing India's continued oil purchases from Russia. That brings it to a total of 50%. It used to be 25 before, he added another 25. So today, Trump just signed the executive order raising tariffs on India to 50%. This was specifically due to India's purchases of Russian oil. It marks Trump's first economic attack on a country for their accused support of Russia. It also marks Trump's public attack on a country for their accused support. What the heck? I just read that twice. For the first time, it appears Trump is supporting Ukraine and the trade war caught in the middle of it. The question becomes, will India back down and abandon Russia, one of their most crucial trade partners, or will this push India close toward Russia and strengthen their ties? So far, like from the original 25% tariff, India was actually like, you know what, we don't care about these tariffs, we're going to continue. And Trump's like, oh yeah, we'll have double or nothing. And now we're just waiting to see what Narendra Modi decides to do, president of India. Do I even say his name right? I don't even know. We also got this out of the blue announcement. Trump said that he would be imposing a 100% tariff on all semiconductors that will be coming into the US. Rest in peace, Taiwan, I'm pretty sure. That's another issue entirely. And I was talking about this with a couple of friends over the weekend. Just strangely brought up this topic on semiconductors, Taiwan, China, right? China is always threatening to attack Taiwan. Matter of fact, there were reports that last week China was actually preparing to invade Taiwan, but I'm pretty sure that's just another one of those media stunts where it's always been the case, right? Oh, they're coming soon, they're coming soon. It's almost like Israel-Iran, right? Oh, Iran is 15 days away from a nuclear bomb for like 20 years. So it's that kind of deal, right? Oh, China's about to invade Taiwan. They're doing military exercises. But usually they discredit that by saying, oh, that's just something normal that they do. They always do these military exercises around the island. Just for fun, just for intimidation, I guess, whatever the case is. Now, the issue with the Taiwan-China situation, especially with Taiwan Semiconductors, an actual company that provides that kind of stuff to the United States, they're going to be hit with a 100% tariff. They're on the rise. Okay. So the reason Taiwan Semiconductors, this specific company, doesn't move it themselves to the United States is because if they do that, well, we rely on the Taiwanese to give us the semiconductors, right? And that's the partnership that we have. That's why we defend Taiwan from China. If they move to the United States, okay, well, everything is in the United States. We don't have to defend Taiwan anymore because their semiconductor company is now in the United States. And that gives the open door for Russia to attack. It leaves Taiwan vulnerable. And Taiwan does not want that. They want to protect their country with the guarantees from the United States. So in order to keep them interested in their country, they got to be like, look, we have your semiconductors that you so want. So you better protect us. Otherwise, you will not have semiconductors. And so that's why they have not moved to the United States. At least that's what I hypothesize, right? It makes sense. Why would we want to move to the United States if we have to stay here in order for the United States to protect us from China? So that's the big deal. And from what I understand, after all these war efforts going on, Middle East has practically died down for now. Russia-Ukraine is hopefully coming to a conclusion soon with all this pressure on India. Their next focus is going to be on Asia, right? East Asia. So China-Taiwan kind of situation. It's always going to be this war thing. Also, North Korea is just its own situation, right? But that's besides the point. Now, they're getting hit with a 100% tariff on all the semiconductors coming to the United States. I don't know how it's going to impact them, so we just got to wait and see, I guess. So for the last 24 hours, Trump has doubled tariffs on India to 50%. Also, an additional 15% tariff was imposed onto Japan. I'm not too sure about that, but I guess it is what it is. The 100% tariff on semiconductors, and also saying that pharmaceutical tariffs of 250% will be coming soon. All four of these targets have had previous trade deals either teased or announced for 4 straight months. Did the trade deals just stall? Yeah, like most of these were already supposed to be taken care of, but it seems like Trump is going back on it and adding more to it in some cases. So it's like, what's really going on? In terms of the semiconductor thing, of course, there was also the situation with Apple, and that is also one of our talking points for today. Apple was like sort of refusing to come invest in the United States because it was cheaper to make their iPhones in China at one point. So that is why also Trump imposed all those tariffs on China to try to, disincentivize them from making their iPhones in China. Come to the United States and build them here. Well, guess what? They moved to India. And then Trump's like, okay, well, you're not escaping. India's also getting tariffs. So, they even like sent, I don't know how many iPhones, millions of iPhones to the United States via plane, only for them to later on kind of make the deals and take off those tariffs. Well, now India is also getting the tariffs back on. But Tim Cook went to the Oval Office today announcing that they are committing an additional $100 billion of investment to the United States, which brings it to a total of $600 billion. We deeply believe in the promise of this great nation. They said that they will be making 19 billion chips in the United States, and they will be only buying rare earth magnets produced in the United States. So it's kind of getting there little by little. iPhones will start to be officially more and more made in the United States, right? I'm sure a lot of the production still comes from overseas, but they're working towards, some parts being from the United States. Hopefully that should help reduce the prices, I guess, of iPhones. Every new iPhone and Apple Watch worldwide will also now be made with Kentucky-made cover glass. And, of course, Trump is just there like, yeah, I did that. It's pretty funny. And about that 100% tariff on semiconductors, Trump said that NVIDIA and Apple will dodge the 100% tariff on semiconductors due to their investments in the United States. So, yeah, another positive thing, I guess, for Apple, for iPhones. Doesn't seem like they will be impacted with the 100% tariff thing. Where is Apple? AAP, okay, AAPL. Yep, they're on the rise. And it's likely due to that announcement. Yeah, $100 billion US manufacturing pledge. So there we go. Apple is doing great because of that. What else we got? The Fed replacement, not of Jerome Powell, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately, I don't know. It's going to cause a lot of market instability if Powell actually resigned or got fired. Because people wouldn't know what to expect anymore. But there's this other governor, I think her name was Kugler, saying that, well, she was going to be resigning. I think she said August 8th, so 2 more days from now. And it seems like Trump is already looking for replacements, saying that the Fed governor decision will be made before the end of the week, and adds that 4 people are being considered for Fed chair. That, of course, Fed chair is the title of Jerome Powell. So we're looking also for replacements of Jerome Powell. Maybe he'll resign soon, or I guess we're just going to have to wait until his term ends. May 2026. I always look this up. I always forget. When does Jerome Powell term end? May 2026. Okay, there you go. So, there we go. What else we got? From the SEC, they declare crypto liquid staking activities are not considered securities. That is bullish overall, especially now that we are looking to get Ethereum staking approved on our ETFs that already exist. That should help accelerate the process. We know how much it's been delayed. We know that they're also working on a blueprint to try to fast track and quickly approve all these tokenized ETFs that they're going to do. No, that's not what the term is. ETFs of tokens, I guess. Yeah, or crypto projects, whatever the case may be. So that's coming soon. Peter Thiel, he has an exchange called Bullish. He's planning to raise up to $629 million in US IPO, so he's going to be releasing this on the stock market, targeting a $4.2 billion valuation, and it's been filed by the SEC. So we'll see if that does happen. Would be pretty cool. We are seeing a lot of successful IPOs and ICOs so far, although I'm referring to Pump Fund, and I don't know if that's really successful. Pump Fund has been crashing, but it's been pumping recently a little bit at least, kind of recovering. You see, I made some nasty profit over here, and we're about that same level right now as when I took profits the first time. But the trend at least has switched upwards, so you know you could practically confirm that that indeed was the bottom. 002261, and we're at 003392. So slow recovery, but could get there soon. Reason Pump Fund crashed was a lot of whale sell-offs and also court case that they have going on, a lawsuit, right? Because they're saying, oh, you're a gambling platform for Pump Fund. It's just a meme coin platform. Sure, that's technically gambling, but whatever. I don't think it's necessarily the same thing. They'll figure it out. They've got their lawyers. They got billions of dollars. They'll sort something out. I do want to talk a bit about Elon Musk and his relationship with Donald Trump over here. We do know about their little fight that they had a couple months ago. It seems like I don't think they're actually enemies anymore. I don't know what happened with the America Party. Elon's kind of stopped talking about it, or maybe he's still planning it behind the scenes, or maybe it's just already been talked about so much that it's irrelevant at this point. Elon Musk commented on this post by Donald Trump about an incident that happened in Washington, D.C. It was a crime incident. I'll read first what Trump says. He says that the crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. There are local youths and gang members, some only 14, 15, 16-year-olds, are randomly attacking, mugging, maiming, and shooting innocent citizens, at the same time knowing that they will be almost immediately released. They're not afraid of law enforcement, because they know nothing ever happens to them. But it's going to happen now. The law in DC must be changed to prosecute these minors, quote unquote, as adults and lock them up for a long time, starting at age 14. The most recent so if you're 13, by the way, you're free to commit crimes. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. The most recent victim was beaten mercilessly by local thugs. Washington, D.C. must be safe, clean, and beautiful for all Americans, and importantly for the world to see. If D.C. doesn't get its act together, and quickly, we will have no choice but to take federal control of the city and run the city how it should be run, and put criminals on notice that they're not going to get away with it anymore. Perhaps it should have been done a long time ago. Then this incredibly young man and so many others would not have had to go through those horrors of violent crime. The incredible young man we will talk about, by the way, very soon. If this continues, I'm going to exert my powers and federalize this city, make America great again. And Elon Musk said, you know what? Yeah, a few days ago, a gang of about a dozen young men tried to assault a woman in her car at night in DC. A Doge team member saw what was happening. He ran to defend her and was severely beaten to the point of concussion, but he saved her. It is time to federalize DC. And rumor has it that that Doge team member is actually Big Balls, if you know whoever that is. A bit of a meme, but yeah. Pretty sure it was Big Balls. I don't know. And then also Trump was asked by reporters, hey, what do you think about Elon Musk once again? And Trump said, you know, I think Elon Musk is a good person. I think he had a bad moment, but he's a good person. I believe that. And we also had that little rumor that Elon donated $5 million to his super PAC or something like that back in June in the middle of their fight. It's like, yeah, are these guys really beefing, or was it just a stunt to kind of, for Elon Musk to kind of distance himself from the government to focus more on Tesla and quote unquote went out with a bang, like a little spectacle for the world to see? But the accusations maybe were a bit too much. I don't know. But ultimately they kind of buried it. They scaled back, deleted some posts. So, yeah. Some more crypto news and surprising one. China is actually going to allow a launch of its first crypto stablecoin. Keep in mind, China has banned Bitcoin or crypto, I guess, since 2021. So the fact that they're launching a stablecoin maybe indicates first steps toward a change of heart. So we're going to have a stable yuan, right? That's the currency. And that should open room for like exchanges to start allowing trading once again with Chinese stuff. And maybe, who knows, they'll unban it all because they have 195,000 Bitcoins. They'll turn that into a reserve and copy the United States. And then the real arms race begins. Which country will accumulate the most amount of Bitcoin? The two most strongest economies in the world. Is China a strong economy? I think it is, yeah. We'll see. Now that we're on the topic of Asia, Japan, they launched, or their largest bank has filed to launch Bitcoin and XRP ETFs. Good. More institutional investors coming in from Japan specifically, so should bring some decent volume. European Central Bank executive Piero Cipollone says cash isn't going away, it's evolving. And he says that a digital euro will complement, not replace, banknotes and coins. Maybe Europe also gets involved with this whole, would I say stablecoin thing? Digital euro is what they're saying. It's practically a stablecoin, right? Should be good. We'll see. Hey, yeah, I'm done. That's all the news I had for today. What do we do? What do we do? Sell Bitcoin. Double down on Hyperliquid. Buy Cardano. Buy Sui. I don't want to FOMO out. Tomorrow's going to be a red day probably, just because. And if it isn't, fine. We'll go higher. Where's economic calendar? Fed Cook will be speaking. I don't think we care. Fed Bostic. Fed Musalim. Fed balance sheet. That's Fed Bowman. Yeah, next week will be the good stuff. This week is boring. Dead. Nothing's gonna happen. Rate cuts. I also wanted to check. We could also check ETF flows. I haven't checked that in a hot minute. Fed watch. 41 days till next meeting, and with a 93% chance we're getting a rate cut. Yeah, this is also definitely part of the reason why we have slowly been climbing up with a lot of coins, right? So that should be good. And surprisingly, a lot of outflows on the Bitcoin ETFs. What's going on? So far, no, a lot of outflows from BlackRock too. Look at that. They're taking some profits. Yeah, if they're not accumulating, you gotta watch out. Ethereum. Same deal almost. More outflows than inflows is what I'm seeing in recent days. And Solana, we only have one. What have these guys been doing? Only one outflow today from Rex Osprey. Does this mean they started with 600,000? I think it is. They accumulated 12 million, 0 accumulated 13 million, 1 million, 5 million, 9.9 million, 2.1 million, nothing, nothing, nothing. And today they sold $2.7 million. Okay. Where's Solana? No. I wouldn't do anything with Solana really here. I'm okay with the position that I have opened. Wish it was more, of course, but whatever. You never know where it was gonna bottom out, so I had to use my brain power to predict where it would be. All right, what are we thinking? Let me see. Sui Cardano hype. Sell Bitcoin. Why would I sell Bitcoin? This could just go against me and I could just end up getting stuck up here forever. I don't like this position at all. Where did I buy this? 113? I'd rather buy 112,000 something. 113,600. Like, that's not really that great, is it? We're on our way down to. Fascinating. We'll move on to other coins. I'll ignore Bitcoin. Sui. What are we doing here? I could do this level, 336. What was this one? How much is it? Sui here. Great, it doesn't even tell me the price. Okay, alright. I'm gonna have to whip out the old calculator. 287 Suis times 31271 is that divided by 3. Yeah, I'm dropping 300 in there. I could change it to 336. It's like halfway through Fibonacci. I don't know about that either. I could use this level as like a 500 entry. Yeah, it could work. Or even more. We're not really oversold anyway. Like, this is like against what my strategy is meant to be. You know what? No, I'm not touching anything at all. Nothing is oversold. Why am I trying to enter? I'm FOMOing. That's not what you're supposed to do. Leave Bitcoin where it is. Hyperliquid. What is Hyperliquid up to? And we're stuck in the middle as well, ranging a bit. It's anyone's game at this point. Could rise, could drop. You know, you draw the two triangle thing. I'm hoping that happens, so I could, you know, take some advantage of that and have that dip and buy. Waiting for RSI to, you know, do its little oversold thing. We'll see. Yeah, so really nothing. I'm not going to touch anything here. All right, cool. That'll be the end of the stream. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow nothing's happening, but we'll see maybe what India responds. Maybe Russia will start to respond. The whole 10 to 12 day thing that was announced like a week or two ago, I'm guessing nothing will come of that. What if I look that up? 10 days, 12 days. I'll just look this up last minute because I want to see when that was announced. Russia, 10 days. Here it is. He might reduce the deadline he's given to Russia to 10 or 12 days. A shift from the earlier 50 days he had given Putin to reach a deal with Ukraine. That's the thing I've been talking about. This happened July 29. So that was Tuesday last week. If my math will math correctly, 7 days was yesterday. Today is day 8. 9, 10 will be Friday. 11, 12 will be Sunday. So August 8 to August 10. Alright, August 10 is easy to remember. By August 10, we'll see what happens. That will still bring us to like sometime next week. If Putin is genuinely going to wait for the exact 12 days kind of thing. I don't think he will, but yeah, we'll see. Great. Alright, yeah.